Okay, so welcome to editing on the iPhone. Now, this comes in handy because a lot of us, including me, um, if I'm lazy, I will use dictation. And dictation is not perfect. Dictation is far from it, though ironically, today, as I was dictating the note that I wanted to use as an example, dictation was 100% perfect. So go figure. However, the most important things that you need to know when we talk about editing, one is the rotor.
Mhm.
One is having everything you need in the rotor. So I have characters, words, lines, text selection. Those are the four things that are really important so that you can move around whatever you've written. And basically, what happens is that you move your rotor to the the piece that you want. So say you did an email or a document and the third last word, it messed it up royally. So you don't really want to go back a character at a time. You want to go back a word at a time. So you would set your rotor to words and then you would flick up and it would move back by word. And what I usually do is, depending on where the error is, if it's at the end of the word, then I'll stop once I hear the word that's just after it. If it's at the beginning, then I want to hear the whole word, and then I flick it to characters because I want to move a character at a time. And sometimes you realize that it messed up a few words, and so you want to just get rid of like three or four. And that's where the text selection item comes in. And you can select by character, you can select by word, you can select by line, you can select by page, or you can select all. And you can move either left or right. So say it was the last, I don't know, the last three words of what you wrote that it messed up royally. And you just want to get rid of them and just start again. So you're at the end of what you've just written. So you would move your rotor to text selection and flick up till you heard word. So you know that it's going to select by word. And then because your cursor is after, if you think about it as a line on a page, you want to go left. You don't want to go right because there's nothing to the right of where your cursor is. So you flick left and it will select the stuff before where your cursor is. And then you can delete it or you can press the first letter of what you really want it to say and it'll just delete it once it's selected. So if you're going to rewrite something, you don't have to hit delete first. Um,
Mm.
I guess the best way to do this is I'm going to try and do some demonstrating and we'll see if you can hear. I've heard that there has have been issues with playing with just having an iPhone and Zoom, so we'll see if you can hear this. Let me just turn on original sound because that will probably make a difference. I have a feeling that if I don't, um, it's not going to produce voiceover properly. So just a minute. So I'm just going through my audio settings on Zoom. And, it, and I should have done this before, so I apologize. Okay, come on, you silly thing. Mm, I'm about to ask a really dumb question, which is, okay, never. I think I may have found what I wanted. Okay, I'm about to get really annoyed with Zoom. So I'm gonna try it without original sound because my computer is not behaving. So I will see whether you, okay, did you hear all iCloud back button?
No.
No.
No, you're not hearing it. Okay,
I can
so,
hear it.
Oh,
Maybe it depends what settings we all have on our phones. Do
Yeah,
it
I can
again.
hear it. I can
I
hear
can
it, but
hear it.
it's low.
okay, so I need to fix original sound and I'm finding that I can't get to the radio button that I need to use to change it,
No,
which
I
is
know.
really,
It's gone. It's gone 2 weeks ago.
it's there. I know it's there,
Yeah, it's
but
just not it's not
I
the same place it used to be.
I know exactly where it is, but I just can't get um I
It's
can't,
under meeting settings.
yeah, and I can't, oh, hang on, maybe it's gonna work now. There we go. Okay.
Meeting controls.
Oh, I found it.
You found it?
I found it. Now I just need to go and see if it put the Oh, that was irritating. I had to use my right arrow. Okay, so let's try this again.
Undo button.
There you go.
and
Undo.
oh,
Hit share
there's it.
button. More button. Done button. March
Yeah.
11th, 2025 at 2:54 p.m. Note: text field is editing. I am dictating something so that I can edit it later, and I really hope the dictation
Oh,
makes
it's
a mess out of
talking
this so that I am
fast.
something.
Okay, well that's okay because we're not going to be going through the whole thing.
March
Okay.
11th, 2020. Note:
We're going to
text
be
field is
moving
editing.
by words and lines and things.
Okay.
Characters.
Okay, so I'm going
Words.
to move by word.
Apple selected. D. Go. To. Way. Time. This. Didn't. It.
Okay, so what my thing said was I want to use this as a test, as a demonstration, and make sure that and I hope dictation makes a mess of it, but it didn't. And I said, "Way to go, Apple," because of all the times that I wanted it to screw up, it didn't.
Course.
Okay, so
Of. And. Edited. B. To. Needs. That. Something. Have. I. That.
okay, so
So.
Oh,
This.
all right,
Characters.
so let's just
T.
see.
H. I. S. Space. S.
Okay, so I have this and then so are two words, and say I realize that so should be a capital S and there should be a period before that. So I get to the S in so and I'm going to delete that because I
Delete.
want to make it a capital. So I'm going to delete that.
Delete S.
And then I'm going to arrow back one.
Space.
And I am now
S.
right after the S in this, and I'm going to go
Shift.
and find a
Action shift.
period, which I
Action numbers.
really wish was not on the
Letters.
number row.
Ampersand. At. Quotation. Symbols. Period. Period.
Okay, so I just put the period in,
Space.
and then I'm going to space,
Oh.
and I have an O that's still there, so I'm going to go backwards.
Oh.
So I did a flick up to go back to before the O. and then the Apple is going to
Semicolon.
assume now that I want a
Letters.
capital. So as soon as I go back
Numbers.
into letters,
F.
see, I have little click sound to tell me when I have a capital, when it's already shifted. And if I show
Selected.
you,
Shift.
the
Actions
shift
available.
is selected already
F.
because there's a period there. So I'm gonna
Oh,
go DS, and there's my S. And so now if I
Words.
move back to words,
S.
I'm gonna
This.
go back and I'm gonna come down because I'm going by words, and I just went I went up 2 words, and I'm gonna come down.
Of. This. Space. SO. That. That. SO.
Okay, and what's happening lately, I notice, is that VoiceOver doesn't know what to do if you put in a letter and it doesn't realize that that's a word now, which is really strange. But let's say I want to get rid of that word so, and maybe a couple of words after it. So I'm going to demonstrate text selection. So I'm going to flick my rotor with, and right now my left hand, my 2 fingers are working to turn it. So we'll do
Note.
that.
Characters. Words. Lines. Text selection.
Okay, and I want word selection, so I'm going to flick down,
Word selection.
and that's where it is. So good. So I'm going to hit right arrow, or
Pencil now
flick
has something that
right.
needs to be edited. And of course, it didn't this time. Way to go, Apple. Selected.
Whoa! And instead of selecting a word, it selected a
yeah.
whole heck of a lot. So we're going to unselect that.
SO. Unselected.
So VoiceOver just messed up. It just read more than it actually had selected. So I'm going to try flicking right again. I came back left, and you would have heard that it just said the SO was unselected. So that's probably the only thing it selected in the first place. But we're going to flick right again and see if it'll just say the word so.
SO. Selected.
There we go. All right. And now I can delete that. I could copy it. Let's copy it. So you can set up a gesture for copy. I think I did a long time ago, but I don't think it's ever worked for me. So I'm going to show you the long way round, which is to take your rotor to edit.
Lines.
So here we go
Words.
backwards.
Characters. Actions. Activate. Edit.
Okay, and so now it's on edit, and I'm going to flick down. This is all with 1 finger, and I'm going to find copy.
Cut.
Okay, so we have cut, and if you remember on Windows or on the Mac, if you cut something, it puts it on the clipboard and you can paste it somewhere else. And if you copy it, it leaves it there and puts it on the clipboard and you can place it somewhere else. So we'll copy
Paste.
it.
Look up. Share.
If
Undo.
I can find
Checklist item.
copy.
Set bold. Set italic. Set underline. Set strike through.
Wow.
Increase indentation. Decrease indentation. Copy.
Ah, yeah, probably should have gone up. Or it landed on copy and it didn't tell me that. So I'm going to double tap on copy.
So copied.
All right, so now we have the word so, which is copied into our clipboard. And now I'm going to figure out where to put it. So I'm going to go back to words.
Actions. Activate. Characters. Words.
And I'm going to flick up.
SO. Unselect. Add link. Activate. Add link.
And for some reason
Words.
it moved to actions instead of staying on words. That will happen. If you flick up and it doesn't behave, try your rotor again. It just means that VoiceOver decided not to leave it where you put it. So,
This system found regular
all
of.
right.
Out. Mess. A. Makes. Dictation. The. Hope. Really. I. And. Later. It. Edit. Can. I.
Okay. I don't know why I'm going to put it here, but I am. So I'm at the last word was I, which is like I, you, me. And I'm going to add an extra space. So I'm going to flick to characters. I'm going to move after the I, I'm going to add a space,
Space.
and then I'm going to paste that so from my clipboard. So I'm going to go back on the rotor to edit.
Edit. Can edit.
Whoops.
Selected words. Characters. Edit.
Okay. And we're going to
Space. Selection
double.
deleted. Space.
And because I wasn't paying attention, I did something that I didn't want to do. So,
Live recognition. Scenes. Off. Voices. Primary voice. Describe
okay,
images.
so
On.
I'm going to
Voices.
go
Live
back to
recognition.
edit, and I'm going to try and undo what I just
Scan text.
did.
Insert drawing. Decrease indentation. Insert drop. Scan text. Select. Paste. Select all. Undo. Can edit. Selected.
There we go.
Return.
Okay, so now,
Note. Course it didn't this time. Way to go Apple.
all right, so
Track selection.
where were we? We were,
Characters. T later and I really hope that it add link. Activate. Default. Characters. I. Space. T. Space. I. T. Space.
oh, it moved completely to where I wasn't going, where I
Words.
didn't want to be. So
L.
let's
It.
go.
Edit. Can. I. That. So. Something. Dictated. Am. I
am dictating.
something. So. That. I. Can.
Okay, and I wanted to put it there after
Space.
the I,
Space.
and I have an extra
Space.
space, so I'm gonna make sure that I am right on that I'm after that first space on the I. So that was with characters, and now I am going to go back
Actions.
to edit,
Edit.
and I'm going to find paste, because remember we copied that
Redo.
word so.
Make checklist item. Set
So
bold.
we're just
Set
gonna
tally.
go, I think I'm gonna
Set
go
bold.
up
Make checklist
because
item
I'm
redo.
getting
Undo.
weird stuff
Select all.
that I don't
Paste.
want. There we go, paste.
So.
Okay, so now we have
Select.
the word so,
Actions.
which is in the
Activate.
middle
Characters.
of nowhere,
Words.
but that's okay.
I. That.
So I'm gonna just read
Format.
this silly
Button.
thing.
Note. Text field is editing. I am dictating something so that I so can edit it later, and I really hope the dictation makes a mess out of this. And so that I have something that needs to be edited. And of course, it didn't this time. Way to go Apple. Word mode. Insertion point between so and that at the 29.
Okay, so what I'm gonna suggest is that each of you mute yourself first so that we don't have 15 iPhones going at the same time, and dictate something. Go to messages or go to notes or go to an email, wherever you feel comfortable dictating something, and see what you can do. And then we can go through any questions, unless you have questions right now. And just
Marcy, I have a
shout
couple
out.
comments.
Yeah, sure.
So I discovered a while ago, and it wasn't always like this. If you dictate in notes and you go to edit a word, that's the place where it's going to look like you just had the word so, you took away the one S and replaced it with another. It won't read the word together. It'll read it
I
S
know.
O.
I
If
know,
you
it's really
dictate,
annoying.
but if you dictate in messages, it won't do that. It only does it in notes. Okay.
Oh,
So, and I don't know
okay.
why. I don't know if anyone's ever brought it to Apple, and because it wasn't always like that. It's the most frustrating thing. You got a word that's 15 characters long, and somewhere in the middle you corrected a letter, and now it won't read that word properly. So, just so you know. And then the other thing is that I often get caught with is you can read. You've got a whole document now. You know, in paragraph 2. The first word on the line, you need to correct that. And you're reading, and just when you think you're in the right place, you may be while you're reading it, but your cursor is not always at the place where you think it is. So you definitely need to use your rotor to go word by word sometimes to ensure that you're in the right place.
And I'm not sure if lines are there by default, but that's a really helpful thing to have in your rotor.
No, you have to put them in. You have to put that in.
Yeah, I would recommend to anyone that you add lines, because sometimes you need to move by groups of words to get to where the problem is, whatever that problem is. So having lines in your rotor is really helpful. So I have characters, words, lines, and then text selection. And those are your four, and then edit. Those are your five tools for editing, really, because you can, like I said, you can set up a gesture for copy and paste, but I've never had them work properly. I don't know why. Um, and I can't even remember what I did set up. I think I set up two finger right and two finger left, but I'm not sure. Let me try.
Add link.
All right.
Characters.
And in notes, for some reason, right now, and I must say I'm on the beta, so this could be a beta thing. My rotor keeps flicking to add to actions instead of staying where I put it. So I'm sitting in my note and I didn't touch anything. And the next time I go to do something, and I think I'm still on, the rotor is still on words or characters or edits, and no, it's on actions again.
It
So
moves for me too.
yeah, so I'm just gonna try selecting something and then seeing whether I do have a copy thing
Character
set
selection.
up.
Word selection. That. Select I. Select so. Selected.
That I sew. Ooh, that's bad. So we're gonna try and cut that and copy that. And
Of course, it didn't this time. Way to go, Apple.
oh, no, what did it do? It just read the rest of what I had said, but I have no idea if it copied anything. So let's not assume it did.
Edit.
So I'm going to go to edit,
Share.
and I'm going to try and find
Copy.
copy. There's copy.
So copied.
Okay. And then I could go and put it wherever I want to. So yeah, characters, words, lines, text selection, and the edit. And edit has a whole whack of stuff in there, as you heard when I was flicking around there. You can make things bold. You can do all sorts of things to your document. There's more in there than there has ever been. It seems they've expanded that, which is a good thing, perhaps. I don't know. Sometimes I think the more you put somewhere, the less easy it is to find it. So, but that's your edit. So, all right. Back to anybody who wants to try this, to mute yourself and give it a go, unless someone else has a question. And I'm not hearing any.
Marcy?
And I'm not in Zoom, so I can't look at see if someone's raised their hand. Susan.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't have a lot of that stuff in my rotor,
Oh,
and I don't know quite how to put it in.
Well, I would be happy to help you, but we're not going to do that now.
No, but I'm just saying.
But I would be happy to show you how to add to your rotor.
Yeah, because I've got all kinds of stuff like that isn't connected with what we're doing.
Well, you might have you'll have characters and words and text selection. I'm pretty sure those are default.
I don't have lines, and I don't know where notes is or any of that.
Well, Notes is an app. So Notes is an app on your phone. It's not a rotor thing. It's a.
well, this
it's
is
where
dumb.
you
I'm
can
not sure.
What's wrong, Peg?
Oh, sorry. I was trying to raise my hand. I went into, just to mention, I went into the notes and new note, and it said dictation was dimmed. I don't know why.
Well, you have to just go to the
But
text.
well,
Just
it says
find the text area.
Yeah, it says
and
editing. It says editing. Text. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Are you on the phone? Are you using your phone for Zoom?
I am. Yeah. So maybe
That's why the dictation. You
shoot.
cannot use dictation when
Okay.
you're on a Zoom call. So
Okay.
sorry.
Oh well. Okay. Sorry. I should have. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
All
you
right.
may have to do something manually, write in something, and then try and edit it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's good. Yeah. Not so funny, but good to know.
Yeah, I know. I know. Really frustrating, isn't it? It would be really nice if you could just dictate
I
on a
know.
Zoom call. And you can, I think if you try in messages, it will let you now. I'm not sure. I haven't done
Mm,
it lately, but I don't, it doesn't surprise me that it won't do it in notes.
right. Okay.
Anyone else have any questions? Because I think really I've covered. I mean that's the bare bones of it, and what you need to do is basically practice it
Hmm.
until it becomes second nature, and you can flick around your phone and I look at the iPhone as the same way I look at a computer. You can never do anything too damaging. There's always a way to get out of what you're in without hurting anything. So don't be afraid.
You can now dictate from Zoom in messages. It just
Ah,
it
but
cuts you off the voices from the Zoom when you're dictating, but as soon
okay.
as you're done, it'll return you to Zoom.
But you can't do it in notes, it would
Notes,
seem.
Okay, I'm
probably.
sorry. I'm going to call you a liar because I just did that. I went to a text to text Chantel,
Yeah.
No, no.
and
Well, and it didn't work.
I ended up on Zoom. I ended out of Zoom when I went to
Yeah, but
dictate it.
did you have to call back to Zoom?
Yep.
Oh,
I just
interesting.
did it. I haven't. I
Okay, I don't know what I did wrong then because I
I
was in. I wonder if it's the setting different. And I learned I didn't have something in my router, so I got to go change the
I'm
things in my
gonna do it
router.
again.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah. Were you muted, Louise, when you did it?
Yeah, I'm
Mm,
back to Zoom, and it
I was
type the
not
word hello.
muted. I was muted. Okay, so okay, you want me to go try that? Go out,
Yeah,
go.
try it. See
Okay,
what
I'll go back.
happens.
Okay, I'll go back and play with. Just give me a second.
The things we get up to. Brian, did you want to add something?
No, I was just asking Louise if she was muted
Oh,
or
okay.
unmuted when she did it,
Okay.
because I have done it, used the dictate in a Zoom meeting, and
Yeah,
I
it
didn't
just
have
won't
any
work in
issues.
notes. I don't think. Yeah, and I can't double check that because
Let
I'm
me
on my
see.
computer in Zoom and my
Oh,
phone
Louise
is.
left.
Yeah, she got
Oh,
kicked out
so
again.
she got kicked out.
Huh, that's weird.
I wonder.
See, I just used a two-finger double tap to dictate in notes, and it worked fine. It typed the word
Oh,
hello that I wanted.
did you do it in notes now too?
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe Peg, there's
Wonder if it's the
something
button.
funky in your iPhone that you may have been able to do it, but it may just be that the dictate button
No,
is
it works.
dimmed. But huh,
I took me out
interesting.
again.
Yeah, we
See, I don't
notice.
know
Wow.
why. That's weird because both the notes, the dictate button work
Well,
for me.
okay, I was in text to message.
Yeah, that too.
Yep.
Yeah,
So I don't know if it's something in my Zoom settings because I have a
could
paid
be.
account.
Okay. Well, that's yeah.
That's for
Well,
some. That's for us to figure out another
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
I ask a question?
You can definitely.
So I have I have some difficulty with going from one screen to another. So if I ask the S lady to say good morning, Marcy, let's say, could I edit from there if I ask?
Mm-mm.
No, no, because Siri will do the whole thing. It will write the message and then it will send it. And although it will show you what it's written, there's no you would have to say edit message or change message, and edit message doesn't get you anything different than change message. You're starting from scratch. So what I would suggest, if you want the chance to edit, that you go to messages yourself, open the conversation you want to add to, and flick down at the bottom of your phone and come back and find the text field at the end and open it. So double tap with one finger to open the text field and then double tap there and start dictation. And that way, when you hit double tap again, it stops dictation and you can edit whatever dictation chose to put there.
Oh my
But
gosh.
if you're doing it with Siri from start to finish, no, you can't edit by word or character. You can't do anything. You've got to just start over. Apparently, at some point, I think we're supposed to be able to edit Siri. So I think we're supposed to be able to say, remove this word and change it to this, or, you know,
Yeah.
but I
Oh,
haven't seen it happen yet.
okay. I
So
think I found the problem because I did the
Okay.
two-finger double tap to dictate. And that most likely took me out because that. But when I went back into where I was, the dictate button is muted on my. If we actually would hit the dictate button, it's muted. It says un. It says
Dimmed. It's dimmed.
dictate dimmed.
Yeah.
So what do you do in a case like that?
I am dictating something so that I so.
Oh, sorry.
No,
Well,
I'm trying to get back the problem so others can learn like I can.
so if the dictate button is dimmed, you can still try the double tap on the field, the edit field. I don't usually use the button. I usually use the double tap, so I don't know if it's ever dimmed for any reason. But this is talking about texting or trying to use dictation when you're in Zoom.
Yeah.
So it's not a use case that you're going to have all the time. It
No.
may be something you may need to do at some point, and according to between Chantal and Louise, it worked for one and didn't work for the other. So,
Well, I
so
just
I
wanted to go
think
back
it's
and figure out because had used the double figure double tap, and that's why I wanted to let you know there must have been something different. I was seeing what was
yeah,
different.
yeah.
so
Well,
See
when
me
you're
stuff like
talking
that. That's too complicating.
when you're talking about dictation, you're not talking about Siri at all then.
no,
No.
no, they're two different things. Siri is your assistant, so you're gonna say, "Hey Siri, send a message to so and so," and Siri will open the messages app in its little head, and it will start the message to so and so. Whereas if you're dictating, you can dictate in any text field. So you can dictate in a note, you can dictate in a message, you can dictate in an email, you can dictate in a
Surveys.
document, in a survey. Wherever there's an edit field, you can hit dictate. So you're not the difference is that you're navigating to the exact place where you want your words to go. You're not telling Siri where you want your words to go. So you have the control over what
Notes. All
what you're
iCloud. Back
doing.
button.
And sorry, my phone is deciding to say things. Um, so that's the difference between Siri and dictation. And honestly, there are days when one is better than the other, and then there are days when that flips. And yeah, there are days when I want to string Siri, but and there are days when I want to string up dictation. So it just depends on how lucky you are and how clearly you're speaking, and I don't know whether the sun is out. Seriously, there are days. But yes, there is a definite difference.
Yeah, and Siri, it, it sometimes doesn't understand you properly.
Sometimes dictation doesn't understand you
No.
properly.
It says some weird things.
Oh, does it ever?
So try saying evil.
Oh, it's I got evil.
Yep,
I know, I
me
wrote to
too.
evil a few times.
But there is a workaround. You just say YVON.
And it did something funky when I tried that. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, no, mine works that way. I
You,
have to do that every time.
I
you can
think
set
when,
up your dictionary to learn how
yeah,
to pronounce words too, if you
yeah,
want to get that far. Yeah.
yeah. But that's, yes. All right. So for anybody who wanted to, has anybody done any trials today? You know, to try what I walked us through.
Are you kidding?
Why not? Why
You
not?
gotta
That's the
listen. You gotta listen.
Well, I'm willing to walk it through slowly if you want to try something.
Yeah, I think probably try it afterwards because yeah,
Well,
I should have
whatever
yeah,
works for
what
you.
try that because I've always wondered how you select words and delete words instead of deleting them by characters because I've
Yeah,
done that.
well,
But yeah, so
that's a
and
good old
then
text selection.
yeah,
It's a
and
very powerful tool.
so you select the word first and then you rotor over to text and then you
Well, it
no,
depends what you
yeah,
want to do to the
what you want to
word.
do, yeah.
If
Hmm.
you want to delete it, then you
Yeah,
select it and then you find your
hit your
delete.
backspace. Yeah, the delete. Yeah, yeah.
And if you want to move it somewhere,
Hmm.
then you want to cut it or copy it, whatever you want to do. Then you go to edit
Uh-huh.
and move the rotor to edit and find cut or copy depending on
Oh,
what
okay.
the situation is.
So when you select a word, or yeah, word, let's say, or even a couple of words, yeah, how do you select a couple of words? Uh,
You you
you just
flick you flick as many times as you need
oh,
to
okay,
select the number of whatever the block that you've selected. So
whether it's
you
word
could
selection or
whether
line
it's
select.
word or character or
Yeah.
line or the
Okay.
whole page or
Yeah. Okay.
whatever, whatever, you can you can select multiples.
Yeah.
You just need to flick and it'll tell you as it's selecting what it's
Hmm.
selecting, and then you
Yeah.
can do to it whatever you need to do to it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. Yeah.
And as I noticed, you could bold it or you can italicize it or you
Uh-huh.
can underline it, which is kind of, I don't know why you would want
Okay, so
to,
what was
but
that
hey.
called for the router? Because that was called text editing,
Text selection.
text selection. Okay, that's the one I'm
You've
missing in my
got,
router. That's what I'm missing in my
okay, all
router.
right.
So I
Yeah,
learned
and
something
you're,
new today. I learned
you,
something new. I only had edited in there. So there's where I made one of my mistakes.
yeah, text. So I thought text selection was there by default, but maybe it's not. It's been a long time since I set up my rotor.
I think mine's in there somewhere, but I
Yeah.
don't remember putting it in because
Well,
I
then
didn't know what it meant.
okay. Well, then maybe it's in there by default, which would
And
help.
maybe I took it out by mistake.
Well, some of them you
Uh,
can, some of them you can't.
Yeah.
Like you
yeah.
can't. There are some that are there, and they're there regardless of whether you want them there or not. But
Well,
there are some.
text selection only shows up when you're in a document or something.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's only there in an edit
yeah,
field when you
yeah.
can, or in a place where you can copy something.
Yeah.
And my text selection was right beside edit and words and character, but with iOS 18, I had to go through my rotor 4 or 5 places because it moved it on me.
Yeah, that's a nuisance. Yeah,
18, I've got 18 point something or other.
yeah. I think everybody's up to 18.3.
And
I
it's
think.
kind of, it says
Yeah.
stuff, a lot of things I don't understand.
Well, start writing them
Um,
down, or and start asking,
Mar-
because you've got a group of people who know this device.
mhm. Do you use Braille screen input, Marcy?
No,
Oh, you
no,
don't. Okay, just
no.
wondered.
I tried it and I could never get it to work properly. So
Well,
I
I've
am
yeah,
definitely a keyboard on-screen keyboard or Hable One or yeah,
yeah. Oh,
or
okay. Or
Dictate
yeah,
or
yeah,
Siri.
yeah. Oh no, that's okay. I haven't had problems up until iOS 18, and I can't seem to keep the positions calibrated. I don't know. It's a bit flaky. It used to be
Yeah.
great. I mean, I love it, and now it's not too nice to me.
Well,
Anyway,
maybe we'll get someone to do a training session on Braille screen input at
Yeah, it's
some point
changed
along.
with 18. It really they added a whole bunch of features.
yeah, and I just find it doesn't work as well. Although somebody said they had
Well,
no problems,
like I
but
said,
yeah.
we'll,
Anyway,
maybe we'll explore that as
yeah.
a future topic.
Okay.
Okay, is
Well,
there
thank you.
anything else that anyone wants to know about editing on the iPhone? Because if not, then we will close this session down for today. And I am very happy to take questions.
The recording is going to be on YouTube, right?
The
Yeah.
recording will be on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yes, it will. Okay. I'm not hearing anything, so before we go elsewhere, I will stop the recording. Thank you, everyone, for
Thank
joining
you.
us
Thank you.
today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.